I'm going to sing the national anthem now. That was my joke, not yours. Thank you so much for being here today. It's a pleasure to be with you. Anyone that thinks it's a bad idea to host an early morning event Super Bowl week can blame me. But I know everyone's gone to great effort to be here, and hopefully we can entertain and inform just a bit. Before we get started, just a question for the audience. Who do you think would win in a fight, me or Rolando? I'm going to go ahead and skip over that answer. We're here to talk about the pasión for sports, sort of the intersection of the Hispanic market and the sort of global enterprise that is sports. And I'm joined today by some true luminaries that represent teams, agencies, networks, and leagues. So we'll start just at the end. Carlos Sanchez is the EVP and General Manager of Fox Deportes. We've got Álvaro Saralegui, who among many other hats that he wears, is the head of Hispanic initiatives at the NFL. Ned Show, the CEO of Chemistry, a proud agency partner to Pinta, and Rolando, a former NFL player and celebrity commentator. So how about a round of applause? We are direly missing a feminine presence up here, which I'm well aware of. We had a cancellation, but we hope that the audience will more than make up for that with questions at the end. So we'll get started. Let's start with Rolando. Just tell us a little bit about yourself and your journey.
Yes, good morning, everyone. Well, I'm originally from Monterrey, Mexico. I played my college eligibility in Mexico at Tec de Monterrey with the Borregos Salvajes. And I was fortunate enough to make it into an NFL team with the Berlin Thunder back in 2004. We won the World Bowl that year, and the Arizona Cardinals selected me through an international practice squad agreement with the NFL back in the day. And that gave me a shot to fulfill my dream as a player, right? And so no other Mexican player from a Mexican college had ever made it to the NFL through this pathway, which is the NFL Europe and then the NFL, right? So fortunate enough to play for the Arizona Cardinals 3 years. I debuted in 2005 against the Indianapolis Colts and Peyton Manning, and that's when we made history. We became the first Mexican non-kicker to ever play in the NFL game in the NFL. So that, very proud of our heritage. Obviously, I live for the Arizona Cardinals, and I'm fortunate enough to have a job with Fox Deportes as an analyst, and we've been doing Thursday Night Footballs for the past 2 years. Garcia Marquez is my player I play, and I'm the lead analyst for the network. So very fortunate enough to live out my Super Bowl dream this week here in Miami, which is has a very Latino flavor to the whole event, and obviously we're getting ready to call a great game on Sunday.
Honored to have you here. I think I'd be in trouble with my mom in the audience if I didn't say I'm a quarter Mexican, so thank you.
There we go. Awesome.
Let's move down. Ned, tell us a little bit about your journey creating an incredible company. Ad Age has named Chemistry Small Agency of the Year 2 of the last 3 years, and that was sort of the brainchild of Ned about a decade ago. So walk us through a little bit about your path.
Thanks for that great introduction, Mike. I appreciate it. Chemistry is very focused on, we like to think of ourselves as an agency as a culture lab. And I think to understand and to evaluate culture, where it's moving and how you can intersect a client's brands with the trends in culture and where it's heading. And certainly you have to, in order to reflect the culture, you really have to understand the Hispanic and the multicultural elements that exist today. They continue to grow, they continue to impact brand marketers' plans and strategies. And that's really why we're so focused on the multicultural market, to help our clients really understand how to put their brands in best light and understand the culture that they're trying to connect with.
Excellent, thank you. Alvaro, I know you're sort of a former publisher, media executive, serial entrepreneur, and helping shepherd the NFL into what has become a booming Hispanic audience base, but walk us through your path and your background a little bit.
I think that was it. Maybe we should pass it on to but thank you. I also wanted to just start quickly that yesterday we had a great event that Pinta, it was sired really, 100 años, 100 momentos, and during it there's probably 150 people in the audience, and I was about 3/4 of the way through my remarks, and out of the corner someone yells, "Get the mic closer to your mouth." And everybody's a stillness all over the entire place. But he's like, "What the hell was that?" And I looked over and it was my wife. So I recognized her. So if my microphone strays from my mouth, which she's not here today.
My mom
so
can help, I think.
If you would all just Please weigh in. Okay, so I'm Cuban. Left Cuba. There was a little turbulence on the island at one point, so it was time to go. We ended up not settling in Miami. We ended up in Bronxville, New York. It was sort of a bizarre thing. My father's ink supplier lived there. I grew up there, played football there, and just grew. Basically, it's what we say at the NFL is that a lot of Latinos, you have one foot in two cultures, and that's the way you sort of lead your life. And one of the tickets to becoming more American is to play sports. So if you want to fit in, and you know all kids want to fit in, that was one of the things we did. So I was one of 5 brothers. All of us play there. I have 2 sons who have now played at the same high school. So we now are full-blooded Americans, really using the NFL or football as our sort of passport. When I got out of college, I got into the media business. Eventually went to work at Sports Illustrated, went up through the ranks, ended up as general manager and publisher, which was a great place. People would say, Alvaro, God, the swimsuit issue, that must be awesome, or God, you get to go to the Super Bowl. Then finally someone would say, hey Alvaro, do you like that job? And I said, well, if you like women and sports, it's a great job. If that's not your cup of tea, then you might not like it. So anyway, I loved that job. And then a few years later, Roger Goodell, who's coincidentally grew up in the same town, played football for the same team. We were friends. We went up our respective careers in the NFL and Sports Illustrated together. And I had sort of retired from SI. He asked me if I wanted to come over and help out develop the Hispanic fan base for the NFL, which I did, which leads to today.
Excellent. Carlos, you're well regarded as one of the most innovative network executives, and you've done amazing things with Fox Deportes. Tell us a little bit about your path to there.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. So I started, I was born in Tijuana, since you mentioned Cuba, from Mexico. I'm from Mexico. Grew up there on the border with San Diego. I started kind of fell into media by accident, actually. I started working in sales with Telemundo, actually with Univision in San Diego, and then moved over to Telemundo there. Moved to Vegas, then moved to New York, ran the New York station for 6 years. And then 6 years ago, moved over to Fox, to run Fox Deportes. Sports to me I've always loved sports, but it was a learning experience. Football is definitely my favorite sport. Big Charger fan. For those, any Charger fans in here? Nobody?
Never ask a question you don't know the answer to.
Come on, guys, that was your cue. So it's been great to work at a network like Fox. We had the first Super Bowl 6 years ago in Spanish, and then we had the Super Bowl again in Houston 3 years after that, and we currently hold the record for the 2 most watched Super Bowls in Spanish. So we're proud of that. And as Rolando mentioned, we have Thursday Night Football, which we've had it for 2 years, and our marketing team has done a great job of promoting the NFL, that it grew 50% in adults 18 to 49 from last season to this season. So we're really excited to see all the growth in the